Get ready for the morning rush.
A quick wrap of your news and weather. We start with Kristen Curry.
Good morning. We'll begin with those showers that we have in the forecast later on this afternoon, favoring western and central areas. They'll be pretty spotty to scattered, but even here in the metro area, we have the possibility of a few of these spot storms. And into this evening, we'll be watching the north central mountains for the best coverage of those showers and storms. Back to you.
As you get ready to head out the door this morning, we're following today's top local and national stories, and we start with Fernanda Lopez.
Yeah, Adam, North Carolina is waking up to a state of emergency. Protests in Charlotte becoming more violent overnight over the shooting death of Keith Scott. Now, some protesters smashed windows and damaged businesses as police in riot gear used tear gas and flash grenades to disperse crowds. One person is on life support this morning, shot by another civilian. Some workers told to stay home today. Coming up in the 5 Facts, the latest on the officer accused of shooting Scott. Sarah?
A play-by-play description of the moments before the killing of James Boyd is given by APD's lead investigator. Detective Jeffrey Stone mentioned the fact that numerous officers showed up to the scene before Keith Sandy and Dominique Perez, but it wasn't until Sandy arrived that things worsened. Stone said dispatch told Sandy he wasn't needed, but he went anyways, and that he passed off his taser shotgun to someone else and pulled officers from the scene whose guns weren't drawn. Who is expected to take the stand and what the defense is saying coming up in the 5 Facts. Adam?
Today it's the defense's turn in the trial of accused cop killer Andrew Romero, and they have not ruled out putting Romero himself on the stand. Yesterday, the prosecution wrapped up its case with a pathologist taking the stand, describing the deadly ambush on Rio Rancho police officer Greg Benner. A forensic scientist also demonstrated that the handgun that prosecutors say is connected to Romero.
On to an update for you this morning. PNM customers can breathe a sigh of relief for at least a couple more weeks. The power company wants to raise rates by more than $500,000 for customers, but in a meeting yesterday, commissioners had more questions and decided to wait till next week to decide whether to approve a $41.3 million increase. That would be a 6% hike in monthly bills. PNM says it needs the money to pay for big investments it has made in the last 5 years.
New this morning, Mora Independent School District's former superintendent is facing even more criminal charges. Charles Trujillo resigned last year after allegations he faked credentials to get the superintendent job. He was arrested last month. According to the Las Vegas Optic, state police filed a new case against him, accusing him of forgery and attempt to commit fraud. Those charges are in connection with a Luna Community College job application. Kristen?
Today's Metro Threat Index out of 4. With some of the spotty to scattered showers we have this afternoon, we're watching for some moderate to heavy rain, gusty winds packed in, as well as the lightning threat. Mostly this afternoon into this evening. A few of these could linger into the overnight hours, but not by much. We'll just be watching for the rain and some localized flooding within those arroyos.
AFD investigators say someone intentionally set the fire that destroyed part of this West Side strip mall. It happened more than a year ago at the end of August, early one morning. Firefighters responded to a call for smoke, but arrived to find flames. 2 firefighters were injured and at least 4 businesses were damaged. AFD reps say it started at Sushi Schwan, but don't know who set the fire or why. The investigation is ongoing. Sushi Schwan since reopened with 2 new locations. The restaurant's lawyer declined to comment. Crystal?
Thanks, Catherine. On to the race to the White House. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump now speaking out on the recent deadly police shootings of black men in Oklahoma and in North Carolina. Donald Trump suggested bringing back the controversial stop and frisk practice nationwide. Meanwhile, Clinton's camp says she plans to develop national standards for police.
Investigators have released a surveillance camera photo of 2 men who they want to question in connection with the weekend bombings in New York and New Jersey. Those potential witnesses apparently, police say, grabbed a suitcase containing a pressure cooker bomb in New York City on Saturday, but then left the device behind. Ahmad Rahami now faces federal terrorism charges in those bombings.
All right, let's take a look at traffic this morning. Have quite a big accident right there, northbound I-25 at the Big I. Only 2 left lanes open, and you can see quite the backup there in those northbound I-25 lanes. We also have a closure westbound I-40 getting onto the transition ramp to I-25 is blocked due to this accident. So if you can maybe find an alternate route and avoid the interstate, we'll let you know as soon as that clears. Adam?
The Anderson Abruzzo Albuquerque International Balloon Museum is adding a new attraction. It's the Tim Anderson 4D Theater, and everybody's invited to attend the free sneak peek event today from 5 to 8. The new theater will show short 2D and 3D videos with physical effects like vibrating seats and flashes of lightning, all to create that 4D effect.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, time now for the 5 facts.
Start at number 5. Today, the Albuquerque Zoo is celebrating World Rhino Day. Everyone's invited to learn more about Chopper and Bertha, the zoo's 2 white rhinos. If you want more details on this, head on over to our KRQE News app.
Number 4, runaway drivers are costing the city some big bucks. This weekend, somebody went over the curb on Lead and Yale, nailing the trees there and a light pole. And then a car also flipped on its side at Oak and Cole. Albuquerque's Clean Cities Division says over the last couple of years, the city spent about $100,000 to replace trees and fix that landscaping.
Number 3, spotty storms favoring central areas with more isolated coverage out west and warm temperatures today in the mid-80s.
Number 2 now. Today, APD's lead investigator in the police killing of James Boyd back in 2014 takes a stand again. Detective Jeffrey Stone was questioned by prosecutors yesterday as they painted a picture of how things built up that day. Former officers Dominic Perez and Keith Sandy are charged with second-degree murder and manslaughter. The prosecution says things took a turn for the worse when Sandy got involved. The defense says he is not to blame for a threatening suspect. You can watch the trial live on our KRQE News app.
Number 1, a state of emergency still in place in North Carolina this morning following more overnight protests sparked by the death of Keith Scott, a black man shot by a black officer. The ACLU is calling for the release of any body or dash camera video from the original shooting. Charlotte's police chief, though, says the officer who shot Scott was not wearing one. We're going to have the latest on the investigation throughout the morning, too, on the KRQE News app. We'll see you on Fox New Mexico right after this break.